Something unexpected happened when a strange figure was caught on camera in broad daylight in Scotland. This chilling scene unfolded before a visitor who came to film some others, who she noticed to have been present in the area. The tranquility of the Scottish river was greatly disturbed as this woman saw an unusual movement in the trees. A ghost-like figure was seen moving slowly between the trees, which was frightening. After walking for a while, the ghost stopped at a particular tree. In September 2023, two friends on a bow hunting trip near Banff National Park heard unsettling movements in the woods. They secured their camp and set up a trail camera before their hunt.
They got a light on there. He's sitting up there. Is there someone up there?
That scared the living daylights out of me.
Well, I just banged my roof, I did then.
Jesus.
After returning from a tense hunt, they left the camera for another night. Later, they noticed a car with a spotlight moving on a nearby hill, raising concerns.
What are they playing at up there then?
Is that light up there?
It's just stalking us.
It's if it's sitting up there with the headlights on. I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking at.
Using a drone, they discovered a large fire on the hilltop. Throughout the night, they heard a small van and a Land Rover pass their camp. Despite feeling uneasy, they decided to stay at their campsite.
That Land Rover?
Yeah.
Camping in the middle of the woods in Box Hill, UK, a man heard strange screams of human-like voices in the woods. These scary voices cried out in the middle of the night, disrupting his sleep and leaving him frightened. But the question is, where were the voices from since he was all alone? Steve and his friend ventured into Rendlesham Forest, known for supernatural legends and UFO sightings. As night fell, silence enveloped them.
Carl's just gone to grab his camera. Someone was just shouting in the forest.
A deep shout echoed through the trees, startling them.
I swear to God, I just saw a shadow up the tree. Shadow up the tree? Yeah. What do you mean, man? I don't fucking know. I just saw a shadow up the tree.
Unexplained phenomena increased. Flashes of light appeared and disappeared between trees. A dark shadow seemed to move ahead of their flashlights.
Hello? I won't do it. Oh, I won't do it.
A sonar-like ping echoed through the woods, followed by a brief red light in the distance. Unnerved, Steve and his friend realized they had overstayed their welcome, leaving with more questions than answers. Some campers' adventure time turned scary as strange voices and loud knocks emerged from some unrecognized creatures in the dark.
Get my keys. Oh, get ready.
The fire the campers set for warmth was put out immediately as the voices were getting closer, and everyone present rushed to the trunk for safety. It was very dark after the light was put out, and for a short moment, the only sound heard was the shaky voice of one of the campers whispering to his friend to run to the trunk, which was later followed by a series of much louder wailings by the creatures.
Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from?
Then suddenly, the knocking also grew louder, and the fear in the campers could be seen as all the strange cries frightened them, and they immediately tried to flee the area. Brian and Katana's camping trip in Michigan took an unsettling turn. they encountered a strange roadblock and an empty campsite with tents. At midnight, they heard rustling around their site.
It's like it's like 4 in the morning. I had to get up to pee, and so did Katana. So
At 4 a.m., they awoke to yelping, footsteps, and whistle-like noises. A large shadow moved across the lake. They debated whether to stay, sleep in the car, or leave.
what's weird is that this shit happened one in the moon event too, except without the yelping.
As they drove away, they heard a quad bike and saw headlights behind them. They decided to wait until sunrise before making their next move.
Sleep for 3 hours and then here's $50. Is that the truck? No.
Later, Katana learned that campers had been killed in Michigan. Brian shared an unidentified noise recording with friends, but none could identify it. The incident left them with many questions. A ghost was caught on camera running across the Gettysburg field during a late-night drive by some campers. A man comfortable in his seat while driving in a camp was intensely shaken and had to stop his car to catch his breath after witnessing an unnerving event. The man noticed shadowy creatures walking on the field, and when his light shone on the part of the field where the figures were, he noticed that they were ghosts. The area, once a battlefield, is notorious for its haunted past, and the ghosts seen could be the ghosts of the soldiers. As darkness enveloped the forest, Jay Bear huddled in his sparse campsite, the flickering fire his only companion. The night air grew bitter, forcing him to rely on untested hand warmers for comfort.
I just heard I don't know if I was even all the way asleep.
Eerie sounds pierced the silence, drawing Jay Bear to the offering tree, a remnant of his Bigfoot-seeking past. Suddenly, an object crashed from above, sending his heart racing. More inexplicable noises emanated from the lake and woods, heightening his unease.
I'm armed.
Sleep eluded him as a thunderous crash jolted Jay Bear awake. Unseen entities surrounded his tent, hurling objects against the fabric. In the ensuing silence, Jay Bear fled into the night, abandoning everything. A week passed before he dared return. The sight that greeted him chilled his blood. His tent lay in ruins, slashed and crushed beneath a cinder block. The realization struck him. This was no Bigfoot, but something far more sinister. A young girl wallowed in the sand at a beach near the camping center. The parents expressed deep regret over the tragic event.
They were enjoying the perfect beach day with their 2 young children when the unthinkable happened.
We go to the beach, we think of water safety, and this never...
The unexpected disaster in broad daylight cast fear on all who witnessed it, and it caused perpetual pain to the family of the victim.
Stayed with him because, I wanted to be digging, and so she sat with him the whole time, and she was just, she's so kind.
The excitement that once filled the air at a crowded beach was immediately deflated when a girl of about 7 years old and her brother playfully dug holes in the sand, and she drowned in the process. The children's game was not monitored by their parents, who thought it was normal as children are always seen digging holes in the beach.
The family says it took nearly 20 minutes to fully get the children out of the hole several feet deep, but say it felt like time stood still.
Suddenly, the girl was covered in a heap of sand, as she seemed to have drowned after falling from the holes she and her brother had dug. It appears another hole that had been dug in the same spot contributed to the fatal incident.
About kisses and huggings and sing songs.
Now the Mattingleys remembering their bright and vivacious daughter who loved unicorns.
After multiple attempts, she was finally extracted from the sand and rushed to the hospital. But it was already late, as she had already died upon getting there. The parents stated in an interview that the tragic incident happened so fast, making them unable to save their daughter.
Going through this, whether that's signage, beach patrol, and strangers, if you see something that's dangerous, take the courage and say something.
A lone camper sets up in a secluded forest known for strange occurrences. As night falls, he experiences unsettling events.
Later on in the video,
you are not alone.
Okay.
He hears unexplained noises and sees mysterious lights. He finds an old flip phone with a child's photo in a sewing box.
That was close. That was really close.
Near abandoned buildings, he encounters locked bathrooms with someone seemingly inside who doesn't respond. At his tent, he hears footsteps and voices. Something hits his tent. He hears animal sounds and a gunshot-like noise. In the morning, his trail camera shows people had walked past his campsite at night. Shaken, he vows not to camp alone again, acknowledging the dangers of isolation in unfamiliar surroundings. An alien in the woods allegedly abducted a camper. Jeff Kessler went missing after he went camping alone outside of Bend, Oregon in May.
For being secluded, this is one hell of a spot. I brought the 8-person tent, or the 6-person tent. I haven't pulled this thing out in a long time,
On arriving at his camping site, he packed his car to set up his tent for a fanciful adventure. After arranging his camping items, he went on to record the site.
Save a few bucks.
The area seemed spacious but isolated. However, this didn't bother him, as he appeared familiar with this sort of isolation.
I can't pick up too much of the color on this cheap camera, but it does pretty well in the light. And in the dark, I mean.
Just before nightfall, he announced that the night would be lovely and that he was thrilled to spend the night alone. At midnight, he heard a creepy sound outside his tent and decided to see what was wrong. The voices rose stronger, so he ran further into the wood. A ghostly creature appeared and chased him. In his recording retrieved from the site, he was heard crying for help. Jeff was then declared missing, as no one had seen or heard from him since he left that fateful day. Rangers found his other belongings, but no one knew what had happened that night. A solo camper spends the night on the North Yorkshire moors, using a bivvy bag for stealth.
It does have its uses.
He explores an old hiking trail and bridge before setting up camp late for discretion. However, he soon realized the consequences of his decision to set up his tent at that location. He loses his phone, spending hours searching for it. By nightfall, he scrambles to set up his bivvy in the dark.
Things that come from space, full of stars.
of really bizarre, weird things that even I struggle to believe.
As night settles, his anxiety increases. He struggles with claustrophobia and becomes hyper-aware of forest sounds. He questions his decision to camp alone in this remote, allegedly paranormal area. Throughout the night, he struggles to dismiss stories of strange phenomena. He advises against solo camping for beginners and regrets his situation. An aggressive animal pulled down a camp tent and attacked the occupant in the jungle. The camper's feeble wall of protection appeared insufficient to protect him from a determined lion who staged his attack just outside the man's tent, and when the animal got impatient, it tore the tent and attacked the man. In that helpless moment, the man couldn't do anything more than try to shout the animal off, but that didn't stop the lion, who eventually ended the man's life. A lone camper sets out for a solo camping trip in the Pocomoke Forest, known for its eerie legends. After setting up camp deep in the woods, he begins his investigation. Using a spirit box app, he asks questions, hoping to communicate with any spirits present. During this session, he hears unsettling responses.
Multiple spirits here. Turn around.
As the night progresses, he becomes increasingly paranoid. Unexplained noises surround him, and he struggles with the decision to stay or leave. Despite his fear, he decides to remain in his tent and continue his investigation.
I don't know what that said.
He attempts another spirit box session inside his tent, asking if any spirits are present or want to communicate with him. The responses he receives are unclear but unsettling. Later in the night, he hears what sounds like the clashing of antlers, like two deer fighting. This strange noise in the dark forest heightens his unease. As dawn approaches, he finally makes his way out of the forest. The relaxing atmosphere of a group of campers was altered in broad daylight when a bear appeared on the scene. The hungry bear stormed on their food in the afternoon, scattering their belongings and other items while the campers hid themselves in the tent, wishing it went away in low voices. A hiker sets out on the Florida Trail for her first solo camping experience, admitting she's never camped alone before. She's apprehensive, especially after seeing a missing person sign at the trailhead. As night falls, the hiker struggles to sleep due to the many unfamiliar sounds around her. She hears coyotes very close to her campsite, adding to her unease. The sounds are so close and unsettling that she has trouble falling asleep until around midnight.
I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. So many sounds. Guess that was a bunch of coyotes just now.
Despite her fears, the hiker makes it through the night. This footage shows something disturbing that occurred on a camper's porch late in the night. A strange creature was caught slowly walking into Domino's woods. The man's dog, Domino, stared at this unusual figure, which had a human-like shape, and when the man noticed it too, he called out. But this eerie being walked into the woods. Two friends, exploring Rendlesham Forest for a second night, set up camp to investigate reports of cryptids and strange phenomena. As darkness falls, they begin to experience unsettling events.
Why has it not happened again, though?
The investigators hear unexplained voices and strange animal-like sounds coming from the woods. They struggle to pinpoint the source, as there are no visible lights or signs of other people nearby. Feeling increasingly uneasy, they use a spirit box to attempt communication with any entities present. They receive bizarre and unsettling responses, further heightening their anxiety. As the night progresses, the investigators' fear intensifies. They decide to abandon their camp and retreat to their car, feeling overwhelmed by the strange occurrences. A monster was captured in a dash camera. This mythical creature was seen standing erect at the right side in the trees, but was not noticed by the trucker man. Very early in the morning, a truck driver drove into the site to collect equipment and was unaware of an ape-like presence until he stepped out of the truck. Stopping at a spot to load the equipment, the man noticed something unusual, but waited for some seconds to confirm. He instantly ran back into the truck and fled the site when he saw the creature. The recorded image of the beast was fully captured in the dash camera after the man fled. The height of the beast is estimated at 11 and 13 feet. A lone camper ventures deep into the woods for a night of solitude and adventure. As darkness falls, an unsettling feeling creeps over him, a sense that he's not alone in the forest.
Man, this place is so lonely. Imagine just being lost out here. It feels like this would never end.
Determined to investigate, the camper cautiously explores the surrounding area, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. Strange noises and fleeting shadows keep him on edge, his heart racing with each step.
Oh, fuck. Oh, hi.
Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierces the night air, echoing through the trees. The sound is unlike anything the camper has ever heard, not quite human, not quite animal. Panic overtakes him. Without a second thought, the camper turns and sprints back to his campsite, his mind reeling from the terrifying encounter. As he zips himself into his tent, he can't shake the feeling that something out there is watching him, waiting in the darkness beyond the firelight. In September 2023, two friends and a group of hunting partners went on a bow hunting trip at the east of Banff Park boundary around the David Thompson corridor in Alberta and encountered the most frightening creature. On the 8th of September, during their first night in the camp, they heard a strange sound and felt something moving in the woods near the camp. Due to that experience, a trail camera was set up by these men as an additional precautionary measure after ensuring that everything else was put in place to ward off any unwanted animals. At exactly 2:12, a strange being appeared from the wood, more clearly captured in the upper part of the left screen. It stormed its feet on the ground as it scaredly approached the tent of the hunters.
alive. Oh dear. No boxes.
A lone camper spends the night in a forest, feeling uneasy as strange noises surround him. He hears unexplained, guttural sounds that don't match any familiar wildlife. As the night progresses, the camper grows increasingly anxious.
Good night. Good morning. I'm acting like I've just woke up. It's about 7.
Unable to sleep, he decides to put in earplugs and hope for the best, unsure of what might be lurking in the darkness around him. This is an unusual video of a man walking into the woods in what began as an exciting adventure until he caught sight of a rare creature sitting in the woods in his camera. The man stopped walking to get a clearer image of the beast, but the frightening creature left the area before he could do so. A group of investigators explore the Pocomoke forest at night, discussing local legends and strange occurrences. They encounter unexplained lights and sounds, adding to the eerie atmosphere. While exploring, they discover unusual hills in the typically flat forest, speculating about hidden bunkers. Suddenly, one investigator sees a flash of light and hears something moving nearby.
Holy shit, something is walking. Hello?
As the night progresses, the investigator becomes disoriented in the woods. They hear footsteps, and suddenly a stick is thrown at them.
Oh, shit! Oh, no! Holy... Oh!
Panicked, they try to find their way back to their companion, encountering more strange sights like a bottle tied to a tree.
Why is my battery going low again?
Again?
I'm done with this damn camera, dude.
Third one tonight.
Oh! What the f*** was that?
The investigator spots multiple lights through the trees, unsure if it's their companion or something more sinister. The experience leaves them questioning the nature of the phenomena in Pocomoke Forest. Campers take refuge in a car as a lion enters their tent. The campers witness the most frightening experience as a lion walked into their tent and tore their belongings. After an extremely tiring day, they returned to their tent to rest, but upon getting there, a lion was seen walking out of the tent. The lion paraded the vicinity all night, turning around the tent, hoping to find its prey. Frustrated by its futile mission, the lion dragged the pillow out and tore the chairs outside.
Andy was that a checky?
The camper mentioned a calm composure despite being frightened to the core. They start the car several times in the night to wade the lion off, who appears more adamant after a chase. The lion lives at dawn, but the campers only step out after their confined vision is gone. A solo RV boondocker camps in the remote woods south of Williams, Arizona. Late at night, he's startled by a woman's screams for help coming from outside his RV. Grabbing his camera to document the situation, the camper ventures out to investigate. As he searches for the source of the screams, he spots a menacing figure hiding among the trees, watching his every move. Suddenly, gunshots ring out through the forest. Panicked, the camper rushes back to his RV and barricades himself inside. However, the mysterious man is determined to get in.
Just turn the main door open.
In a terrifying turn of events, the intruder breaks into the RV's underbelly storage and begins crawling beneath the floor, attempting to gain entry. The camper, trapped and frightened, continues to film as the situation unfolds, capturing every heart-stopping moment on camera. A camper's cell phone camera caught a strange and upsetting inscription on an isolated path with many potholes leading to the woods. A woman driving in the path noticed the scary note, and the inscription on the paper taped on a stand read, "Have you seen him?" in emboldened letters that also displayed an equally frightening image of a beast.
It's got midnight. I think there's two people shagging in the car next to me.
A car camper settles in for the night at a remote location. In the middle of the night, he's startled awake by unexpected visitors. He realizes there are people right next to his car, engaged in some suspicious activity. The camper remains quiet, hoping not to draw attention to himself. Later, a thunderstorm approaches, adding to the tense atmosphere.
There's the thunder. My God.
Lightning flashes and thunder cracks, leaving the camper feeling vulnerable. The woods are famous for housing strange treasures of fright and holding traces of campers' adventurous plights. Some of the spooky things found in the woods are Xylaria polymorpha, commonly known as dead man's finger, abandoned crematoriums, unexpected creepy signs, skeletons of both humans and other creatures, unfamiliar infections growing on animals' bodies, and the notorious abandoned stairs. Two friends set up camp in a forest known for strange occurrences. They immediately feel uneasy due to odd noises and sights.
The forest seemed to swallow the echoes of that haunting cry.
She's watching you.
Who's what?
They use a necrophonic app to communicate with potential entities, receiving disturbing responses about victims and murder. They find names carved into a tree, adding to their dread.
I was just about to start talking.
The campers encounter more strange noises and a shadowy figure. They try to rationalize the sounds as wind, but feel watched. They share stories of others' experiences in these woods.
Give the machete. Wait. We didn't get the machete. It's in the fucking car.
As night progresses, the friends decide it's too dangerous to stay. They pack valuable items and leave, driven by a gut feeling of danger. A frightening body was discovered hanging in the forest in cold daylight. A group of campers found a hanging dead man in the depths of the forest and were completely shocked by the incident.
What's it called? What am I looking at? Oh my God, he's hanging. Bro, did we just find a dead person in the suicide forest hanging?
Pot boiling for some mash. And I've got a visitor. Creeped up behind me asking me if I had
A camper encounters a strange homeless man while staying in the woods. After sharing a meal, the man disappears abruptly, leaving the camper unsettled.
After I fed him, he scurried straight off. And I've just tried using my night vision.
The camper grows increasingly paranoid, worried that the man might return with ill intentions or bring others to the campsite.
He's fixed. Talking with his mates while he's high. And I don't want...
Upon returning to the site the next day, the camper discovers his trail camera is missing, confirming his fears that something sinister may have occurred during the night. The last memories of a drowned camper were discovered in his missing GoPro 2 years after his death. In 2017, Richard Mann recorded these special memories with his friends during one of their numerous adventures, but little did he know that this would be his last trip.
Richard is still is touching the world now. While the family says they haven't watched the whole video yet, the clips they have seen.
2 years later, another man found the GoPro camera used during the initial recordings
That a drowning victim's camera could still be buried in the murky waters. He was thrilled to find it for the family.
I reviewed the footage
and was excited to share it with the family, who had called people on social media to contact them if anything was found about the boy. A mixed feeling of sorrow and happiness clouded the family, who were once reminded of the loss and how much of a happy and daring person he was. A group of friends explores a remote forest at night, experiencing unsettling events. They hear strange noises and see unexplained lights in the distance. They decide to split up. One friend thinks he sees a figure across a gorge. He hears crying, whimpering, and footsteps all around him.
No, what the f? Bro, what the f? Stop!
As tensions rise, one friend stays with the car and experiences something trying to get inside. Panicked, he uses the car alarm to scare it away. The group reunites, shaken by their experiences. They debate whether to leave or stay the night, unsure if what they encountered was human, animal, or something unexplainable. A man hunting for treasure during camping pulled out a dead body wrapped in branches at a beachside. Captured in camera, the video exposed the face of the dead man after his covering was pulled off by the man, who wished it was some bundle of goodness. The revealed face of the man showed he must have been dead for some days and expected to have held some unpleasant odor. But the man who discovered the body seemed also surprised by the discovery of the body.
It's a dead person.
Holy shit.
Yes!
A lone camper sets up in his car at a remote forest location. In the middle of the night, he's startled awake by unexpected visitors near his vehicle.
Ford tough, baby. Hey. And what the f?
That was a scream.
Yes, 100% it was a scream.
He stays silent, hoping not to draw attention to himself. Later, a thunderstorm approaches, adding to the tense atmosphere.
No, I know. I'm just checking this area. Oh, Ben! Oh, fuck. Good as Jacques. What the fuck?
The next morning, while getting gas, he sees a photo that matches a mysterious doll he found in the woods the previous night, leaving him unsettled and confused.
Okay. Bro.
3 campers mistakenly drowned in a river during their recording. A pure, refreshing activity turned fatal a few minutes later. The video revealed that they all drowned trying to save one another, but none of them were able to swim, and this cost them their lives.
Get up!
A camper prepares for a cold night, setting up a gas stove for warmth. He ensures safety with open windows and a carbon monoxide alarm. As night falls, he hears unsettling screams and noises from nearby. Despite loud music and disturbing sounds, he eventually manages to sleep. In the morning, he reflects on the eerie nighttime experience.
Decided to get the gas stove warmed up, just to take the chill out the air and get a bit warmer because it's...
The camper notes the empty car park, a stark contrast to the night's activity. He plans to use a drone to document his spot, still shaken by the mysterious screams and noises.
Struggling. Because it's that cold, the gas canister isn't warm, so it's not pumping out. as much heat.
As he slowly starts his day in the cold car, he remains alert, unsure if the night's unsettling sounds were merely rowdy campers or something more sinister. A group of 5 teenage campers was attacked, leaving one fatally injured by a middle-aged man over a minor misunderstanding. A cell phone recording from one of the victims revealed how the man angrily assaulted the teenagers after being harshly spoken to by the group at the Apple River.
Oh God! We up! What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about?
The day started with excitement and fun for the young teenagers before a middle-aged man approached them. Afterward, a little argument transpired, which later broke into a serious fight. Some boys pushed the man, and they rudely splashed water on him even after he had fallen. In retaliation, he slapped the girl among the teenagers, and this made others rise to her defense, but this made him act even more cruelly. Seeing that he was outnumbered, the man drew out his knives and brutally attacked the 5 of them, which eventually led to the death of one.
Are you serious? Is it real? Oh my God! Who is that?
A lone camper stays overnight in a remote area. He prepares and eats a canned meal for dinner, remarking that it tastes better than fancier options. As night falls, he settles into sleep.
And it sounds like they're walking around the van.
Late at night, he's startled awake by a car pulling up nearby. He hears people walking around his vehicle, making him uneasy. The car leaves but then returns to park behind him, increasing his anxiety. Despite the unsettling incident, he manages to fall back asleep and rests through the night. In the morning, he awakes to miserable weather and prepares to leave his campsite. Upon opening his vehicle door, he discovers it has been tampered with overnight. The door is stuck and difficult to close. This revelation contradicts his belief that he was left alone, leaving him unsettled and wondering what else might have happened while he slept. Camper narrowly escaped a catastrophic death in the woods when he was attacked by a bear while alone in his tent. The voracious animal walked around the tent looking for an opening, but it started dragging the tent when it didn't find any. The frightened man hurried to shut every likely hole in the tent and mistakenly stumbled, which allowed the bear to bite his feet at the side of the tent. The man struggled to push his legs free after a scream. The crisp September air carried whispers of adventure as Jake and Mike set up camp in the shadow of the Canadian Rockies, just east of Banff's boundary. Their first night in the David Thomas corridor started peacefully, but as darkness deepened, unsettling sounds shattered the silence. Heavy footsteps crunched through the underbrush, circling their camp with unnerving persistence. The friends exchanged tense glances, their years of hunting experience unable to quell the rising unease. With shaky hands, Mike set up the trail camera, its lens a silent sentry against the encroaching unknown. Mike retrieved the trail camera, both friends holding their breath as they prepared to unravel the mystery of the night before. This scary video revealed a camper being chased by a hungry bear, captured in his GoPro. The man is riding a bicycle, and after a few minutes, a bear storms out of the woods and starts chasing him. The terrified man rode as fast as he could in an earnest attempt to get to safety. It was a frightening chase, and the man finally ran into the woods, leaving his bicycle behind. The bear looked around for him until a distant gunshot scared the bear away. Two paranormal investigators camp overnight in a forest known for strange occurrences. They set up cameras to record any unusual activity while they attempt to sleep.
Not too bad. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Yeah. Well, alright guys, we're in the tent right now, and I'll tell you something.
During their rest, they're awakened by unsettling noises, including sounds of something entering or exiting the nearby water. The eerie atmosphere makes it difficult for them to fall back asleep.
Angela. Angela. Bro.
At midnight, they decide to venture deeper into the forest to continue their investigation. They notice it's a full moon, adding to the spooky ambiance.
Hell no. There's like birds right now too.
As they explore, they encounter creepy-looking trees and feel an ominous presence. They attempt to communicate with any spirits that might be present. Suddenly, they hear a warning but are unsure what they're supposed to be watching for. The investigators remain on edge, listening intently to the sounds of the forest and questioning whether what they're experiencing is animal, human, or something otherworldly. A camper was brutally torn to pieces by a pack of lions in front of his family after making a fatal mistake. On February 18, 1975, two tourists captured the scene on the Angola border.
This sequence is part of the evidence examined by the court in a lawsuit brought by the heirs of the victim against...
It started as an exciting shooting of animals in the wild by the tourists who were at the scene with their families. Being cautious of the danger associated with staying close to wild animals, other tourists remained in the car and stretched their cameras to capture compelling images. The man exited the car as he got bored of staying hidden in the vehicle, desiring a more personal experience with the animal through his camera. The pack of hungry lions devoured him before a rescue team arrived. His camera recovered at the scene, which contained the final scenes he had recorded before he was torn apart.
A lioness seized the victim's movie camera. Stained with blood, the camera was...
A group of friends decide to camp overnight in an abandoned building. They set up a campfire and cook hot dogs on sticks, joking about their cooking skills.
Here you go.
As night falls, they start hearing strange noises that make them uneasy. They try to sleep, but are repeatedly woken by unexplained sounds, including what seems like footsteps and banging noises. The group debates whether it's just the old building settling or something more sinister. Unable to sleep peacefully, they keep their tents partially open and lights on for safety. They discuss their fears and try to rationalize the noises they're hearing. As dawn approaches, they're exhausted but relieved to have made it through the night. A dead body was found in a river close to a camping site. The morning ended even before it started.
I never knew today would be one of those days.
A man goes fishing on a cool morning, but is soon frustrated as several odds stand against him, starting with his expensive net disappearing into the river. He was further discouraged, as he could not catch a single fish after several attempts. He took the unpleasant events as a prompt to return home, but stopped abruptly as he noticed something was moving on the water.
Getting another one, that's cool. So I figured I'd do a little bass fishing. You know, get my feet wet. You see my little feet now, they dangling.
A dead body is seen floating on the water. The man rowed faster to the shore, attempting to escape the horrible scene.
Golly. I was messed up in the head. But anyhow, I made it to land.
In early 2017, after purchasing a Hilleberg solo tent, a seasoned wild camper decided to test it on its maiden voyage at Shining Tor near Macclesfield in the Peak District.
Some of the gear I use is more high-end a lot of the time.
Late at night, while telling a story inside his tent, he was suddenly interrupted by strange noises. The eerie calm and thick mist surrounding him added to the unsettling atmosphere.
Making that noise? It's like a curlew, much lower pitched.
The following morning, the camper quickly packed up and left, deeply unsettled by the previous night's encounter. After following a baby's cry deep into the woods, a camper went missing. Upon hearing the baby's voice, the camper rushes into the woods to rescue it from danger. After searching through the cages in the area where he thought he had heard the voice, the camper is left lost and confused. A group of friends camping in the woods encounter a series of unsettling events. They spot a suspicious setup on the road, possibly meant to lure people out of their cars.
But the air is cold out here, boys.
They notice footprints and signs of someone moving through the woods. Back at their campsite, their paranormal detection equipment starts going off unexpectedly.
Oh.
One of the campers, unable to sleep, hears strange noises and footsteps around his tent. He wakes the others, expressing his fears about someone prowling around their camp. They spot a light in the distance and hear what sounds like a scream. They consider calling the police but worry about lack of evidence.
Bro, you look like Marv off Home Alone. Can you get up? I'm hearing shit out here for real.
This video shows disturbing images of campers' abandoned bushes and trucks with cracked windows and broken doors. The scary objects colliding with the equally deserted area evoke a sense of eeriness due to its association with danger, death, and the passage of time. Wild animals and unfamiliar creatures mostly inhabit these old buses. A solo camper in a remote area is approached by a stranger in an ATV. The stranger claims he comes to the area to offer water to campers, but his behavior raises suspicions.
Hi. So, you have a guy
Uh-huh.
on the mountain up there.
The camper is advised to move to a different location for safety. Despite enjoying the quiet and scenic spot, she decides to leave due to concerns about being watched. While packing up, the camper reflects on the situation, disappointed to leave, but prioritizing safety. She mentioned it was at least a good opportunity to do some laundry in the open air. After leaving, the camper drives as far as possible from the BLM land where the encounter occurred. Strange occurrences were reported by the local townspeople in the area in 1957 at Emerson County. In 1997, a video capturing mysterious shadows was discovered, but until now, no one has come to claim the footage. The footage revealed a ghost walking in the woods. As the two campers walked into the woods just about this time, a fearful being surfaced and charged towards them. They tried to escape but fell with the camera.
You see that? Over there, look, over there. You see that? Wait, because that was it again, right there.
A solo camper settles in for the night. enjoying the warmth of his campfire under a starlit sky. The forest around him is peaceful, filled only with the gentle crackling of burning wood. Suddenly, an unsettling noise echoes from the depths of the forest. It's unlike anything the camper has heard before, not quite animal, not quite human. Curiosity overtakes caution, and he decides to investigate. Flashlight in hand, the camper ventures into the dark woods. As he moves deeper, the strange sounds intensify. Branches snap underfoot, and shadows seem to dance just beyond the reach of his light. Without warning, the camper stumbles upon a clearing bathed in an eerie glow. What he witnesses there defies explanation, leaving him frozen in fear and awe. The couple refused to go home when other campers got into danger because of their unwise decision. The clear air and early sunlight announced the day was promising as campers excitedly recorded beautiful memories. Towards sunset, most campers packed their belongings and left, but a couple decided to stay back, hoping for a more blissful experience at night. The slow shadows of the evening peered on them as they began wrapping up for the day. Suddenly, a ghost-like sound was heard loudly in the woods. While this could have discouraged them, the man insisted on not letting the little scare disrupt his exciting adventure.
Oh, it's showing up. Open this.
Being a curious fellow, he also wanted to confirm where the sounds were coming from. At exactly 2:30 a.m., the man wakes up, notices his truck moving a bit, and hears footsteps. He stepped out of the car and pointed his hand in every direction from which the sound came, but nothing was seen. It became scarier for the couple as the sound became louder, and they were not eager to exit the camping site.
Woke up, I felt the van move, heard somebody try to open the door, and got up and turned the side light on.
A solo camper uses a thermal camera to investigate strange occurrences around his campsite.
And you can reach inside here because that is where the Allen key is, or the Allen key screw goes that holds the bottom on.
Initially, he scans the area, capturing images of small animals and warm spots in the forest. Suddenly, the camper notices unusual heat signatures that resemble handprints appearing on trees.
That's freaked me out.
These handprints weren't visible moments before, leaving him unsettled. He also catches glimpses of unexplained flashes of light that disappear as he pans the camera. A frightening creature is seen motionless beside a tree by a group of campers. This is very unusual, as a ghost is either seen moving about or making some scary sound but is not completely mute. The creature emerged from the woods and stared at a man with his family, and they ran back. This figure was noticed near an area where a few trees had fallen. The man who saw the being ran back to their tent and took a weapon for their defense against the weird-looking creature.
Right, they walked away. Yep.
A solo camper in a remote location recounts a terrifying experience from the previous night. While sleeping in his truck camper, he heard something rummaging through his belongings. Upon investigation, he glimpsed a large, unidentified creature that fled into the woods on two legs.
Did you see that thing? I wonder if the outside camera got it.
Determined to capture evidence of the creature, the camper decides to stay another night. He prepares for a long night of surveillance, setting up cameras and keeping his camper ready for a quick escape if needed. After hours of waiting without incident, the camper suddenly spots something alarming outside his vehicle. The camper describes seeing an unidentified creature moving rapidly through the woods, unlike anything he's encountered before. Terrified by the sight, he realizes the danger of his situation and decides to leave immediately, abandoning his surveillance attempt and fleeing the area. A terrifying creature was captured on a trail camera near a fatal scene at a campsite. Before this strange sighting, police had investigated the site after 2 hunters discovered human remains made of limbs and branches near their hunting camp. The huge beast cannot be mistaken for an ape because its scary eyes and hair show that it's not the former, but looks more like a person from afar. However, a closer look revealed that it was a beast. This unbelievable scene unfolded at noon when the wild creature moved into the lamplight. The large beast fell the camera to the ground after making contact with it. A lone camper settles into his tent for the night, surrounded by the peaceful sounds of the forest. As he begins to drift off to sleep, an unsettling noise pierces the quiet. Instantly alert, the camper's heart races as he strains to identify the source of the sound. It's unlike anything he's heard before, not quite animal, not quite human. Without hesitation, he springs into action. In one swift movement, he zips up his tent, creating a barrier between himself and whatever lurks outside. Campers' Christmas party was ruined when a wild creature came out of the woods. They were caught in a cell phone camera outside their home in the woods.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas!
Retrieve.
The couple carefully sneaked out to get a clear image of the being. The joyful chattering amidst lovely wishes is instantly replaced with sudden fright and alertness as a monster walks past the house where the family is gathered. The dog ran into the woods after seeing this creepy figure move about.
Oh no!
Suddenly, the creature, which appeared dark even though the incident happened during the day, moved from where it had stopped for a moment and resumed walking into the woods. A man decides to spend the night in supposedly haunted woods near a cemetery. He arrives as darkness falls, parks his van nearby, and prepares for his adventure by making a quick meal.
You think this through? I should have got a saucepan with a lid. Right, can we use this cooker whilst it's still in the box? That is the question.
As night settles, he ventures into the woods, exploring the cemetery before heading deeper into the forest. He attempts to make hot chocolate but abandons the idea, opting to return to his van to drop off unnecessary equipment. Back in the woods, he encounters strange occurrences. He sees unexplained lights and thinks he spots a person, but can't be certain due to the darkness and his camera light affecting his vision. The man experiences several unsettling moments that leave him questioning what he's seeing.
It's a person. I'm not even joking. What the I can't see anything. Oh, what was that?
A lion attacked these young brothers in broad daylight at their camping site. They did their best to fight off the 90-pound male lion, but were soon overpowered by the lion. The inseparable duo, identified as Talon and Wayne,
brothers Talon and Wyatt love doing everything together in the outdoors. So when that mountain lion attacked them together, they bravely tried to fight it off to try to protect each other.
was full of life and enthusiasm and held each other's back, even in the face of death. They were always seen together, and their shared love for hunting in the woods and similar camping activities brought both men to their favorite sites on that particular day. Little did they know that that would be their last time together. The lion charged at them and bit both men on the face and the neck, but one of them managed to escape to seek help as the lion was stronger than them. It was a very sad realization that Talon had already passed on before the rescue team arrived.
They would literally fight for their lives together when a healthy 90-pound male mountain lion attacked them.
A man recounts a harrowing camping experience with his family in the Colorado mountains. They set up camp in a busy area due to an upcoming holiday weekend.
Did find a really cool spot though. Got set up, a beautiful little area here. We had the cabin tent with the heater going. We had the bathroom tent with...
On the second night, they're awakened at 4 a.m. by a drunk couple on a four-wheeler. The situation escalates as the drunk couple becomes aggressive, yelling and threatening the family. The man tries to de-escalate while protecting his wife and children in the tent. Unable to leave quickly due to their setup, the family decides to prepare for the couple's return. The man arms himself with a pistol and makes the campsite as bright as possible. When the couple returns, tensions rise again, but eventually the situation calms. The family helps jumpstart the four-wheeler, and the drunk couple leaves. A group of campers trapped in the dark woods are further devastated by a mysterious light in the mountain. This abnormal brown light is noticed at different angles and is immediately followed by eerie voices. The strange cries stiffened the anxiety of the campers, as the woods were too dark for them to see one another except for the weird brown mountain light and loud screams, sending shivers down the spines of the campers. Urban explorers camping in a remote forest area begin to hear unsettling noises in the night.
This place is scary as
At first, they identify coyote howls, but then hear something more disturbing that doesn't sound like wildlife. The explorers debate whether to investigate the source of the strange sounds. One of them cautiously ventures out to look around, but finds nothing immediately concerning. As the night progresses, they hear more coyote howls mixed with unidentifiable noises that heighten their fear. They discuss their options, deciding to eat and warm up before investigating further. They prepare to split up and explore the trail where they heard the noises, anticipating it will be the most dangerous part of their night.
I just saw a light down there. Bro, we talked about this earlier. There was no one else here.
A young female camper met a devastating end after an unexpected disaster occurred. This incident happened at Yosemite Half Dome. This once vibrant young woman set out on a bright morning for a hike with her dad, as both are fans of exciting outdoor adventures.
It started out as a thrilling adventure for a dad and his daughter hiking up the iconic Half Dome in Yosemite National Park.
But terror broke out as she missed her step and fell from a very high place, leaving fellow hikers in a state of shock and sorrow. A violent change in the weather caused the talented athlete's death.
20-year-old Grace Roloff was hiking with her father, a sport they loved. Together, they've logged more than 1,000 miles of hiking.
Two urban explorers investigate a dilapidated abandoned asylum at night. As they explore the decaying building, they hear rustling sounds and feel uneasy.
In we go. Into hell.
From a window, they spot someone outside in the darkness. The explorers debate whether to make contact or leave. They attempt to call out but receive no response, increasing their concern. Deciding it's too risky to continue, they choose to leave the asylum.
Hello? Yeah, the fact that they're not answering back. Let's get out of here.
In 1997, a group of campers went missing after an extremely terrifying encounter. This footage shows what could have led to their death. The excitement of the group of campers over their adventurous moment was short-lived after something disastrous happened. An alien emerged from the dark, grabbing them one after the other. The campers tried to hide from the eerie figure, but it was too late, as he appeared faster than them. A solo camper sets up in a remote area, initially feeling comfortable in his small tent. As night falls, he hears someone walking nearby. The situation escalates as the footsteps get closer. The camper tries to remain quiet, using only his phone for light to avoid detection. Suddenly, Two people start touching and pulling on the tent.
Okay, they're walking away now. What do you want? What do you want?
The camper panics and decides to flee, leaving his gear behind. He runs through the woods, falling several times and getting soaked. Eventually, he makes it to his car and escapes. The next morning, he returns to retrieve his abandoned gear, reflecting on the terrifying experience and the risks of solo camping.
Let's make a sweep. This would have been a great spot just to do some outdoor camps in the summertime too, just